left. Yeah. It's about 38 and raining, so lovely night here in the Pacific Northwest. Let's flip this camera so it's not like right in my face. How are you guys doing? Wanted to, I know that y'all were waiting a while, but I wanted to make sure that I wasn't stepping on Lucas's toes, because Lucas is someone who inspired me greatly in the hobby. And let me shut up my... There we go. And I wouldn't want to do that. He did his tour, and now I'm going to do mine. So a few people have asked for this. So the idea will be, we'll start with... I don't have nearly as many tanks, obviously. So if you have any questions, do the at Alex or at Secret History is better. And if you're a channel member, it stays up a slight bit longer, kind of like... Also, I learned if you put it in top chat and you're a channel member, it'll for sure show if you do the at sign. So I don't think I'm going to do that yet, but if we have a really busy night, that'll probably be the new go-to plan. Now, I also picked up some special yum-yums for tonight. Peplin Creek, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. The $5 super chat, he says, thank you for letting Lucas finish. Yeah, no problem. I mean, quite honestly, would it not be selfish for me to not let him finish? Because, I mean, no one's going to watch me if Lucas is on there. I mean, we share so many friends. So, but thank you. That is, yeah, I'm sorry to have thought that I was going live. I made the event and I was going to go live immediately. And then all of a sudden he started and I was like, oh, that's the time he's doing it today. But I got a couple things. Oh, yay, mods are happy they got links back. Well, cheers. That means we've officially started with the Dr. Pepper going. Merry Christmas, happy Hanukkah, Passover. I think that just ended, right? But I should know. My mom's family's Jewish, but I don't. So, sorry. Let's feed the tanks, yeah? Sound good? So I picked up some special nummies. Got some wormies. Hey, Deb, thank you so much for the super chat. Always appreciate it, but especially around the holidays, I appreciate it. You guys know I have a disco tank going with the light that keeps going on and off and on and off, and that's happened twice now to 2 different lights. That tank is cursed. It's not the outlet or anything, though. But let's get some critters going, and I'll think I'll briefly discuss some of the plants if there's any of note in the tank. And then we'll also feed the critters in the tank. I already have shrimp pellets that have been in the tank now for about 45 minutes. So they should be well on their way to being consumed. And then obviously they're not paying me. They don't give these to me or anything. But these are the new go-to I've found that my everything seems to like. Even the fish that can't eat them because they're too big, which works out well. These are Hikari sinking carnivore catfish pellets, and yeah, so there's that. But we've been out of blackworms for so long. These are blackworms. They're nematode. See them? They're all squiggly. And yeah, so between those, the normal foods that I know they like, I like also to use the bug bite flakes and the sinking granules, just so that the top fish get the top flakes and are busy up there. They're usually the more aggressive fish. And then I usually do a couple algae wafers, and then I do, or zucchini or whatever. I don't do fresh veggies as much as when I was breeding plecos all the time. But yeah, let's turn it around. You guys don't need to look at me. Let's look at the fish. So you can see how happy these guys already got some of the blackworms earlier. And these new Radnocentris ornatus rainbow fish that I have a colony of now, I'm so happy about. They're the new to America strain. They haven't been here too often. Gary Lang had them, and a few other people have had them. But it's the first time I've ever had the opportunity to get a hold of these. And these are maxed out. Like the 2 adults that are here, or there's 3 adults. There's 2 males and a female that are adults. and they're big for, I mean, for their species, they're big. They were fed by a club member who grew them out from Gary, who had some babies. Oh, thank you so much, Laura Sutton, for the super chat, $4.99 for the light fund. I really do appreciate that. It all adds up. Thank you. So in a connection, I'll try to hop back on. If we lose it for good, no, then. But yeah, so we've got Pelvicochromis, and these are a leucistic and an albino. So they do have the yellow, but they're albino crossed with leucistics. So they have some color, but just not most of it. They have the red eyes. And we've got the blue, or kind of metallic blue, long fin pepper cories. And then we also have the orange and black cories from Aquatic Arts, the Venezuelas. These are an Aeneas cory. And yeah, so these guys, they love these pellets. You know, in this tank, when I've mentioned in the past that you guys don't know it, but I have a ton of cories in here. Here's a bronze Aeneas cory, and they're just in there with my oranges. And yes, they have watered down the genetics a bit, but the problem was I couldn't remember what was in here. And so I've got some babies that are really strong, and I'll pull them out. You know, they're really orange and blue, and I'll pull them out and breed them when they're older. But right now, we've also got the lemon plecos in here. So we've got him. Then we've got the Sol Nanochromis, that's pretty shy, but they all love the taste of these Hikari carnivore pellets. I mean, even the Kohaku, or I mean the Kochis, wait, not Kohaku, are they Kohaku? Kohaku tetras. Roll to see everybody in here. Drew, Marigel, all the gingers, Zen Ginger, and Ginger Graves. I've got roundworms running my nano shrimp tank of worms. Batis, scarlet batis and Malaysian batis, they really eat a lot of worms if you don't feed them. That's the trick. You can't give in to their begging little faces. But yeah, these Rhamnocentris are really nice. I really like them. They do at night, they run the tank. So some of the males, the betta males or beta males, they color up white and like a reddish silver at the top. Live streaming, you know the colors are crap. What's going on, George? Welcome. Carol, Carolyn, Mr. Beach, Aquaballs, obviously. Jesse, what's going on? So yeah, these are all Chevy fish, fish dreams. And then so this is the beta alpha male. So not alpha male, but male. And then here's the alpha male. See how he's red from the back half on? So they color up differently depending on who takes the lead. And you watch them fight and change. So I'm excited for more of the babies to grow up. That'll be fun. Here's the female lemon, blue-eye lemon tetra. We'll just chill for 1 sec because they're all getting skittish as I zoom in on them. We'll extend the gimbal out a bit. Even my my leopard frog plecos are coming out in the day, so to speak. Sun just went down to get in on this action, and they are the shyest fish I own. Drew Sample, thank you so much. We have a $10 super chat from Drew. Thank you for your help over the past few months. No problem, guys. You know, whether you can spare the super chat or membership or whatever, you don't have to. I still try to help everyone I can. It's just a matter of I'll see you quicker if that's the case. But I mean, for the first 4 years of this channel, there were no members or anything, and so I would like to help everyone that I can. It's just it gets a bit busy these days, which is great. So yeah, thank you. Also, we've got 100 people in here and 40 likes. If you guys want to hit that like button, I'd appreciate it. Even my Siamese algae eater, which these ones are the ones you should get, by the way. These are called the reticulated Siamese algae eater with the diamond on their tail and no stripe. And these guys will eat blackbeard algae like there is no tomorrow. You guys may recall I had a blackbeard algae problem in this tank for a while. Couldn't get rid of it through traditional methods, and all of a sudden, one of those guys, an inch long a month ago, now he's big, took care of it. But here's my leopard frog pleco. He's all washed out because of the light, but this is my big male. You see those little bumps behind the pectoral fins, well, that is his indication that he's a male, is the little spiky hairs on them. That's it. Other than that, it's very hard to sex these leopard frog plecos. Other than that, we've got 4 more of them in here, and I see them lurking, but not coming out. T-Bone, thank you so much. Merry Christmas. $5 super chat. I appreciate it. I really do. As you guys know, too, I'm getting dentures, so a bunch of money went to that, and so yeah, you know how life goes. I'm sure you guys are all on the same boat. You know, I try to, if you guys have a channel, I try to stop by and do the same when I can. There's another little leopard frog pleco back down in there that's bright yellow, and that's the way they usually look when they're in their dark little cave happy. They're like as yellow as this guy's appearing on screen. And this guy, I mean, is bright orange yellow, and you guys can't tell because it's a live stream with bad quality color rendering. We're down to one jelly bean tetra, unfortunately. We tried them out. We tried spawning them in the acidic water, and that was not what they wanted. That killed them. So you live and learn. That was a bummer. And then we've got the, now everybody's made him famous. But we've got the tailless little ember tetra, and he's had no tail since I got him. So he gets around just fine. He can dart off faster than the other ones. I don't know if it's just like all the practice or what. The females are bigger. You can see them. I've spawned them, and he's actually probably my best male spawner. I don't know. The females seem to like him. So I use him and one other out of the group of 12. And then we've got 8 of the long fin peppers. We've got 5 of the leopard frog Peclotia compactus or comptus. And then we've got a couple babies that got away from me. The rest of the babies are in other tanks, but these ones grow way faster in the big tank, just eating scraps and things. And then we've got 6 Radnocentris babies and 2 adults. And then we've got some guppies right here, these blue panda guppies. Let's see here. I think I saw a question go by. Oh, it's Steven the biologist. How are you doing? I hope your son's doing better still. Always thinking about you, buddy. Alex, I just seen your message on Discord. When could be a good time to call? Anytime that I'm not streaming, really. So, I mean, later tonight or tomorrow or the day after or the day after or the day after. I mean, whenever. And I'm up really weird hours. So seriously, whatever works for you. If it doesn't work for me, the worst that'll happen is I don't answer. But I'm up frequently, especially if I'm expecting a call. I can be up whenever. So the other thing we have is 8 pencil fish in here. The 3-line trilineatus ones. They even come down to check out this Hikari meat pellet, carnivore pellet. You guys can maybe see some of the blue, but it's really pretty, the iridescent blue on those pepper cories, the long fin, stubby or dwarf or potbelly, whatever you want to call them. They're a smaller variety. They're all full grown now, and they're still a lot smaller than, say, these Aeneas orange and black ones. The cribs, they won't spawn, and I don't know why. I think maybe they need harder water, not sure. But they won't spawn for me. So now that you've seen this tank going, let's see here. Oh, and Steven, I had a question for you, and I can't remember what it is. It was something about bacteria, what it was. But in any case, in here, we have moss that has just grown completely out of control. Anything with blackbeard algae from other tanks gets tossed in here. And then the 2 Siamese algae eaters are in here eating it. Believe it or not, with cribs and everything, we've still got a big family of Malawa shrimp living up here in the moss. They reproduce fast enough that it just works out. Up here's a Cypress health fry. I won't go through all the plants in here. There's too many. But here's a Vietnamese mini purple butterfly rotala that I like. This is my favorite plant probably, which is the... I got this from Crystal Castleman, who wrote the best book I think there is in the hobby. And on plants, that is. And these guys turn insane colors in front of your eyes. They go from yellow, red to green, pink, burgundy. I mean, just right before your eyes. I wish you guys could see what I'm seeing. And then they go from purple to kind of like a white pink on the bottom. And they're just an awesome plant. They need lots of room, though. Speaking of lots of room, this Prince Kleiner sword has just gotten insane. I mean, it's huge. I probably want to remove it, honestly, or clear out everything around it. Near it, there is a bunch of Cophifolia. You can see there's blackbeard algae on that. For some reason, the algae eaters aren't eating that down there. I don't know what their deal is. There's one more of the smaller little leopard frog plecos. And then another one of my favorite plants, I moved the silver Logonandra boldi. This is the Carolensis Logonandra boldi. I really like them. And then here is sunset polysperma or Ramosior. It kind of depends on who you ask what they call it. This is giant Bulbitis hedulata. These ones get like 1.5 feet long, the fronds. And then I've got mini in here too. Chris Pinto, thank you so much. We got another $4.99 super chat. I appreciate it, you guys. Got 26.78 towards the new light. Well, we'll take 30%, but so like yeah, I got like $20 towards the new light already. You guys, I really appreciate that. I mean, even those dollar super chat stickers, they mean a lot. I don't forget it. So thank you so much. So moving on in this tank, does anybody have any questions before we hop over to the angel tank? But yeah, there's a lot of critters in here, obviously. It pretty the things will, thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. They like water changes. Water changes are good. Oh, here's the female Radnocentris, by the way. They're smaller by quite a bit, and they kind of almost look like guppies. So, yeah. And I have a net left in here. This is a rare plant from Petco, and it traps shrimp whenever it's in there. I don't know why they can't figure out how to get out of there. Also, another favorite of mine that's not growing well in here since I haven't been running CO2 for months, maybe 2 months now, is this guy, this Cabamba furcata, fire or rainbow variety. Also, the Malawa shrimp that I got that were purple and red, that's the ones I put in here. Now, they've thrown babies that are clear again, but I did put the red variety in here. So there are still some of the holdover adults that are that nice orange with stripes red. And as far as I know, I'm the only person with Malawa shrimp that for 5 or 6 years I've been working on that. Now, yeah, this is mini. There is mini bulbitis in here, and I have years of experience with it in here. It's finicky, but once it takes hold, it will hold on forever. YouTube is probably better for me, Kevin Long, as far as memberships. It's cheaper entry level, I think. I mean, you can do it for $1.99, and really for $1.99, I let most people see most of the stuff. However, if you're a higher level member and you want an episode made about something specific or a shout out, or you have a channel, like I'm happy to help out people that are honest, working hard and stuff like that at those other levels. But really, it's just whatever you can afford. $1.99 was the lowest limit I could put. And even if it was $1 from everybody, they take 30% of it, YouTube and Google. And then I think the credit cards take another bit, and then it gets taxed 30%. So you end up with, say, 70% taxed by 30%? I don't know. You get like, say, 55 or 60% of it cleared at the end of the day. And that money is like, it's so nice to have that monthly money, to know it's there. Because super chats are incredible. They're awesome, but they're not reliable. So it's almost, it's kind of worth it. But some people do pay me on PayPal if they want to give me just a chunk of money for the year or whatever, $20 or something. And they're like, I don't want to give Google $6 of 20. So I understand that. And there's links to my PayPal in my description usually. Okay, so she's eating. And remember I said she wasn't full albino. She has leucistic traits. That is why you can see the color on some of her fins, as well as iridophores. But yeah, she's a beautiful little fish, and I'd love for her and her husband to make some babies Like my anthropomorphizing, assuming that they're married and that they're straight. Maybe they're not. Maybe they're gay fish. I don't know. All right, let's go over to the next tank. All right, so this tank has been through so many changes. I think this is my either second oldest or oldest tank. We're gonna go ahead and feed. This Bentley Pasco gave me these years ago. They're so stale, but the angelfish, it keeps them busy. And basically, that's the key to feeding the other fish in this tank, is to keep the angelfish busy. Sorry, I know I'm moving around a lot, but that's going to happen when I'm feeding fish. So sorry. We'll get stable again at some point in my life, I hope. So let's get these guys in here. You've got gay goldfish? Right on. Are they rainbow? Do they have a little rainbow flag in their tank, or did they just tell you they come out of the closet one day, come out of the tank one day? I have Amano shrimp that come out of the tank. If that's how fish tell you, maybe all my Amanos are gay. All right, let's see here. I know a little bit about angelfish genetics. Whoa, it's raining food in here. I overfed just now, but that's okay. I haven't fed this tank in 3 days. So in any case, they've got in here, this is their nitrate protection, the water lettuce. That's really what that is. Kevin Leong, welcome, my friend. Welcome to the club, secret supporter. I appreciate that greatly. Check the members or the community tab. I post stuff there for everyone, but for members specifically, I'll post pictures, or if I know there's a code for something, that's the spot to check. Millions and Sons, how's it going? Let's see. George says, how do you get double dose of something like black or blue? I don't know about that. I mean, I assume you put two together that are both black or blue, but it depends if it's recessive or not. And it's really weird with angels. Black, I believe, is a recessive, but it's incomplete because it'll pass on as smoky too. So yeah. But in here we've got normal cribs. These are a line that I've invented. These are Bapindi and Lacunja falls, lower falls, crypts from several, or cribs, I should say, from several years ago. And I crossed them, here's the male. I crossed a poultry with half Bapindi, half Lacunja falls. And the Lacunja and Bapindis have the really bright fire in their tail and no leopard printing, but the poultures do. So I got some of it in half of her, and in all their siblings I sold off. I was just calling them mutt cribs, but yeah. Let's see here. Well, thank you so much, Kevin. I appreciate it. Yeah, Patreon has been, I still have the Patreon, but I've kind of been directing folks. I posted a message a while back that, like, get at me through the community tab on YouTube. Centralizes a little better, but I do need to post more on there just for the sake of it. Here you can see some Bucephalandra that's getting super old. It's outgrown its little nook by a long shot. Needs to be trimmed. I could probably get 6 plants out of that and replant. You see how it's trying to grab back on. And then we've got an Aponigeton Longiplumulus in here and an Ulvasis in here. We've also got a big old sword plant that is growing out, and I don't recall which sword it is. It doesn't have any color or anything. It's just a green sword plant with spade-shaped leaves. But yeah, so, and then here's a mini bulbitis. This is the tank that I keep the mini bulbitis propagating in. And literally I just rip pieces off of this that they've established to. And I just let them float for a few weeks, kind of near the top or middle. And then I'll take them and put them in another tank. But we've got that. And then we've got metallic corkscrew valve, which I'll do the same thing. But in any case, here we've got more glow light tetras. I like these guys a lot. They're quick enough to get away from the angels. We have one lone endler in here. Don't know how he got in here, but he's in here. So, such is life, right? And then we've got Goldie. She's pretty. And she is the number one fish that mates with Sergio, who is he's now at 8.5 inches. I don't know if he'll get any taller, but he's gotten thicker. I mean, look at him. He's a hunk. Come on, Sergio, turn around. And yeah, big, hefty fish. I mean, when he jumps, when he slams himself onto something, you can hear it from downstairs. It sounds like there's a problem in the house. But he's a smoky blue mixed with a... he's got the red back of a... It's like a bronze red color of the Manakapuru Central Amazonian angel. Even though he's got the smoky blue genetics, which were refined in Turkey. There he is. And the red eye, he's got the blood red eye. And then these guys are Turkish blues. And these are all females. See? Ovipositor sticking out. Is hers? Hers usually isn't. She's the one who doesn't get to mate as often. But he takes turns. So Sergio is a polyamorous little fish, which is odd for angelfish. Usually they kind of pair off and that's that. But he pairs up with Goldie every 4th week. And then the other blue one every other week usually. In between that. So it goes like yellow, that blue, yellow, that blue, yellow, that blue, yellow, that blue again, that one every, 2nd or 3rd time. But yeah, Sergio and Stella were the original two. Stella! And then I forgot what I named that one. But in any case, all three, Sergio killed his first 2 attempts at pairs when he was smaller than this even. And so he successfully spawned with them, but then killed the female. So I put a bunch of females in with him. And he ended up just mating with all of them. I had 3 nests at the same time. So go figure. I don't know. I can't understand their fishy little logic. Also down here, Stella! Here we've got a freshwater sponge. Means the water's clean. So that's good. Here we've got giant... I got this from Scott Tomlinson online on Facebook, who's always slanging plants out of Denver now. Or Fort... Where is he? Colorado? I don't know where. Somewhere in Colorado. But in any case, he sold me this giant Boost Philandra that's like probably 6-inch leaves. I'd never seen one quite that big. Looks like I need to take out a piece of this plant. What I do is I go like this, and that feeds. It's just compost plants for the avocado tree, which is from an avocado pit that my wife planted. And then back there, these are reed tetras. They're not kitty tetras, although people kind of confuse them sometimes. The ones with the white streamers, those are the males. The white streamers underneath their pectoral fins, they're kind of their pelvic streamers. They are a kind of flashy thing, kind of like, just like angelfish have. And these guys are awesome in that they will school with corydoras. They will school with specifically Triliniatus and Panda cories is what they love to school with. And so I really like them. But they'll also school with Corydora hebrosus up in the midwater. They'll encourage the hebrosus to come out. So you see angling and aquatics, welcome. Steel Angus, welcome. So yeah, I've got probably 25 of these in here. And then one of the actual true blue tetras that is, and I can't remember its name, its Latin name. It doesn't have a common name. But J.H. from, Joseph from J.H. Aquatics, he brought some of these back from Peru when he went there with Corey from Aquarium Co-op and Dean. I'm kind of wondering if, since Dean, Master Breeder Dean, and I live in the same town, you know what's funny is he's gotten that name now, and people are like, "Oh, he's Master Breeder Dean." I think everyone who's on YouTube in our club is a master breeder and a master horticulturalist. Uh, we've all gained that title, but he's been doing it for years and years. So I don't know what master means when you can get it. I think you just have to breed 100. I think I had to breed 100 species, and they get progressively harder. You can kind of select what you want to breed, but you have to breed, kind of from scratch, as it were, and like, yeah, it just gets harder and harder. And then, like killifish and stuff are kind of the hardest. Now, I also have moss growing in my filters, which is kind of cool. Um, Alex, how long do you think the cheap leaf to leaf grass from eBay is going to last? So the problem with that, Kira, I agree. I'm an accidentalist who learns things, not a master. Yeah. But uh, I would say that that grass you buy online that makes a beautiful carpet, it's not real aquatic grass. That's the problem. It will never acclimate. So then all of a sudden, 3 to 6 months in, sometimes 9 months, depending on your tank, if you have really hard water, it'll last longer. But it all melts, including the roots, and then they're in there just dead. And the only thing you can do is cap it off with sand. Otherwise, you've got an ammonia spike. I mean, I've seen it take a 20-gallon of my friends up to 5, 6 parts per million of ammonia in one day when it died. So I've seen several people, especially when that was kind of a new thing on eBay, when people were buying that carpeting seed for terrariums and stuff, and aquariums. Yeah. Now in here, I just threw in some carnivore pellets. Stephen the biologist says, I knew Dean before I did Corey. Dean was well established in the community before Corey got big. They are both smart fish hobbyists. Yeah, totally. Hey, Kenny, what's going on, brother? Come on in. Kenny, I don't have the epic fish room that you do, but I've got a fish room that I love and that I've built. Now, something that you guys may not know is that I made a deal with my wife that all the fish tanks we have in here started from 120-gallon breeder, and we spent a good amount of money on that first tank. I think we spent $300 or $400. We got a good light. We got a Fluval light. Because it was winter, it was October, November, darkness was coming. And so we decided that we were going to bring some light and life into the house. And so, yeah, in any case, they, hey, Cody, welcome. So they, at the store, they were selling those happy lights. And those happy lights were like $300 or $400. And I was like, we could get a whole kit with the same light spectrum as those happy lights, and we could have a fish tank. So we got those, and so we got one. We got a 20-gallon long, and that's kind of when I started up the channel again. And it started as a documenting vlog of that. But everything, I bought guppies with okay stock, and then made a line that I liked. I started selling them at my guppy club. I got some plants off the bat that I started trimming, stem plants, and from there I've literally bought, sold, traded, and robbed, pillaged, whatever you want to call it. I've traded a way up in the world to where I'm at now, and with the help of you guys, clearly, now I'm here. So that's the upstairs tank. The quarries are all over. I dropped the pellets and they got kicked around by the current. Another thing about those kitty tetras or reed tetras, either way, either species, they're going to school really tightly. So if you get like rummy nose tetras, they're the next tightest schooler. And, they will... they'll get together, and when something startles them, they'll break up into little shoals, and so you'll see like there's a shoal of them above, there's a shoal of them below, and they're really fun in a big tank. Now we do have a couple oddball cribs in here over on this dirty glass part. And we've got a bunch of more boosts and a bunch more if you can make them out in there. We've probably got a dozen or so of the panda cories in there. So that's that tank. Just got this prayer plant too. Also planted some pink flamingo crypt in there. Crypt pink flamingo. So yeah, those are the two show tanks. In the right cauliflower, honey?
No.
Oh. Oh, I smell like broccoli or cauliflower. And yeah, you can see they're still eating these things. So if you guys haven't tried these, give them a try if they're accessible. The Hikari Carnivore Sinking Pellet. They're... Oh, I need this. Boy, do I need this. Oh, no, this. All right. So let's go downstairs and look at the other 40-gallon now. That 46 system is the biggest that I have at the top of the stairs. Holds 46 gallons in total. Right here, I'll be quiet because she's out, and so are the barbs. Barbara 1, Barbara 2, Barbara 3. So the African 9-banded barbs or 12-banded barbs, I don't even remember how many bands they have, honestly. They're out. I love them. They started pretty small. Now, this is a condition I'm curious about, Stephen the biologist. You see the dark marks on this fish? This guy's probably 5 years old. All these guys I got together. And this is probably one or two that doesn't. But most of them have developed these dark plaques along their spinal column. Inside, it's in them. And then I noticed they start to appear radiating out from that spine. And I'm really curious. Yeah, they're lemon tetras with the red eye morph. So they only come from one part of the Xingu southern fork of the river. But I'm curious what it is because then they start getting twitchy. See how this one just sits there twitching? Something about it is causing those problems. These guys have been treated twice with levamisole, and they've got some gnarly columnaris worms. I guess I don't know what it is. No one else in the tank has the problem. / everyone else seemed to get rid of them. Okay, so here we have a little Burmese border dwarf banded loach. Love them. Should be close to you somewhere. You're up here, Kenny? Then we've got the lovely, that's the pair right there that spawned together. That's the male with the pit bull rounded head. I like to think of him as a bulldog. And he attacked his own reflection for a sec. Then there's those banded barbs from Africa. So I really want to get a big tank of these guys. They're real skittish. I guess it's 12. And then here's some kind of normal poultures. These came from a line that were melatonistic, so they had darker colors. This one's all colored up right now, this male. The male has kind of the chisel-shaped arrowhead tail and the sharp fin look, whereas the female has a bigger belly. She's rounder. I haven't seen that the other baby grew up in here into a female. I've only seen males. But there were four baby cribs that I tossed in here as just kind of a whatever. See if I see them. And then we've got the Ascopai Danios and the Lake Shanensis Danios. I love these. Got them specifically ordered from the wet spot from Lake Inle. And they have one pattern in one light that is striped, and then another that's freckled or spotted in the other light. And so I really like them. And then we've got the Mekongensis, named after the Mekong Delta, but the Mekongensis Danio. And their face, when you look at them straight on, see how high their mouth comes? It's almost higher than their eyes. They kind of have like a pelican belly, and then they've got stripes. But they are hard to tell apart when they swim by quickly. They don't seem to interbreed. This male is showing off for the female, which is kind of cool that you're seeing that. This is a peacock gudgeon. He's all colorful right now. So yeah, let's see here. Also, this is Prince. This uh, Angelfish was like, what are these things called? Uh, and this is Vanity from Prince's famous group of female seductresses. Also, there's a couple tiger barb, lutinistic, I guess is probably what you'd call them. Tiger barbs in here. And then there are a pair of Kohaku swordtails in here. And what else is in here? There's a green dragon that's along. Oh, and then there's 5 Pandagaras. So it's a pretty full tank too, but it's really full of plants. This is all moss, so I'll kick it aside and then it floats back in every day pretty much. There's huts for different critters in here. There's caves. There's also a couple bettas in here. There's another one of the Danios. That one's Daniel Aykroyd. But then there's also Endlers in here too that just kind of kick around that I just needed somewhere to put them. But here is the betta. They've spawned a couple times. This is the albino betta. Or not albino, but I don't know. She's all white. And her siblings were all albino. She has blue eyes and is all white fins and everything. But yeah. And then if you guys were watching the live stream the other day, I've moved them and fed them just now. But this is all from one female. 67 babies from the panda guppy downstairs, and a cherry shrimp she gave birth to apparently. No, I just pulled that cherry shrimp out. So, all right. So that's the other biggest tank. Let's see here. I was listening, Alex, but I only caught a glimpse of it. Can you send me a picture? Yeah. Yeah, definitely, Steven. Thank you. Petraman, how's it going? Xanadu, hello. I like that everyone's here. Filigree Aquatics, welcome. Fish Tropic, hello. Simple Jack, of course, hello. Master Bleck, of course, hello. All right, so this tank is my cold water tank, so to speak. It's a 7.5 gallon ADA. Got this on a trade for 4 green dragon plecos with purple eyes. The guy wanted the purple eye gene really badly. So I traded. In here, I was keeping this tank around 65 because that's what the room kind of will stay at by the window. But it's mainly Medaka rice fish and a couple guppy fry that I'll pull aside until they start showing, and then I'll move them. Now, this is also where I start all of my Apongeton or Aponeton, however you want to say it, plants, as well as lilies. And then from here, I move the bulbs wherever they need to go. Here you can see we've got also some Taiwanese lilies, some hydrocotyl pinnatifada, or I mean Hygrophila pinnatifada, and then also some AR mini, Alternanthera renickii mini, and there's a few Rotalas in here and a few Ludwigias in there. And that's about that. This is a Nymphea micrantha, one of my favorites. Metallic, not purple, but metallic. And then in here, we've got, this was my puffer. How often do I do water changes in here? Well, I was stealing plants out of here, so I just did a big, 80% water change. I drained the water to, here. There's also, you can see them back over there. There's also some pygmy sunfish in here. So that's why I don't let it get over 75. There's also Malaysian rice fish in here with the Medaka Japanese rice fish. But yeah. Stephen Klaus. What kind of albino cichlid was? That was a Pelvica chromis pulcher. So a crib, a cribensis pulcher. That was leucistic and albino cross, codominant. So this tank, not heated at all. Yeah, pygmy sunfish, Kenny. There are a few in here. They probably can't have babies with how many Madakas there are in here. Yeah, but in this tank they can, and there's 4 in here. There's 2 pairs in here of pygmy rice fish. The Gilberti are in here, and the Everglade are in here. And then in here, this is the new plan of where they will go. If they have more babies, we'll go in here. This did have a bunch of other rice fish in it in the summer. It's had guppies in it. But it's just a deep substrate bowl. And on the water changes, I really just kind of check and see what the water parameters are doing. This tank just had a snail explosion, so too much feeding. I've overfed it, but all of a sudden I'll get these explosions where we'll see, oh, Jesse, are you watching in Hawaii? Here's one of your boys, and your girls should be in there somewhere too. But the boy finally colored up and is showing off that he's dominant. And there's the female right back there. She's actually been in him, and you can see the yellow of her ewe. I'm actually kind of hoping they'll spawn before I pass them on to you, because I don't have a big colony going. But I already told you I'd give them to you, and I try to hold what I say about that stuff usually. And then so they're in a non-heated tank right now that's about 68 degrees. But they'll take up to 80. But yeah, right now they also have been living the life, eating baby shrimp and whatever else is in their tank. So there should be 2 females in there and then 1 male from what I've gathered. But it's a hard thing to sex them. They change easily. So then in here, these are my green... and by the way, the light is just reflecting, and this is Hygrophila coriumbosa blue. And it is just, it's grown. I didn't even plant it. It found its own bearing and planted itself in that cherry tank. What I'm going to do is get a siphon and suck all these snails out. But this probably means that the nitrates and nitrites something is too high. Oh, I see baby shrimp. There's baby green shrimp. Good. I've been waiting for them and not seeing them. But there's one right there on that rock. You can barely make it out, but let's see if we can get it to move by startling it with this stick. See it right there at the corner? Come on. In any case, yeah, there it goes. So we do have some babies in there. Good. But this tank, I don't do any water changes or anything. These are the gold line green shrimp. This one is by far the worst of them, but was pregnant first. She's got the gold line like the yellows do. But look at this. Look at the green on most of them. And she's pregnant right now. Or maybe she's not anymore. It looks like she's not anymore. She'll probably be shedding soon then. But look at how green she is. And the rest of them are all almost that green too. These are the best strain I've ever gotten. Told all the members too, again, in an alert, like if you need a green jade line that is super strong, this is the best one I've ever seen. So I'm kicking them forward a bit because they like to hide. They already ate, and then the snails come and eat. But yeah, all of them are that green. Uh-oh, do we have a little parasite? We might have a parasite, or something might just be stuck on his oh, good. Just something stuck on the rostrum of him. I thought it was, oh, maybe. Hold on. Let's see here. We might have one of the little leeches that get on these guys from time to time. He's up here. What's his rostrum look like? Is there going to be a leech on it or not? Can't see. Now, the Java fern, yeah, Aquatic Art Greens is where this is from. They're green, Neocaradinas. Where'd he go? He jumped. He jumped. I can't find him. Hold on, guys. Sorry, I know this is shaky because I'm all zoomed in. We'll get the money shot in a sec here. Hold on. Just trying to coax them forward because I haven't seen them in a few days, and all of a sudden it looks like we may have a rostrum problem of leeches. Let's see here. All right, there they are. And it's snowing outside, says my wife. Great. So look at that green. And these guys just live in this tank. They could have a much better life. Obviously, this tank is poopy, moldy, gross. It's a deep substrate sand bed. And there are detritus worms and stuff in here. But the other thing that I use this for is spawning little fish like the Battis. So the Battis were born in that tank, or in this tank, and then were moved to this tank. So it works pretty well to let the tank get kind of gross with life, and then do a water change to make sure that there aren't any nitrates, and then move on. Then this is the marble chamber. These are all 2.5s. Marble chamber is for this. It has a pH of 3.8 or 4 last time I checked. It's hand and neck and real strong. So yeah. Then we've got the new tanks, no to speak of, but we've got the new what do you call it? 10 gallon. Don't know what's going in here yet. Let's see here. What was the question that I missed? I missed something. Oh, my connection's good. I don't know about your guys' connection. I mean, maybe I'm coming in bad to you guys, but it started snowing. So yeah, so that's one tank. Deep substrate. It's Fluval stratum and an HOB, Fluval stratum, and right now I'm not breeding anything in the marble container. Last thing I tried was the jelly bean tetras, and that didn't go so well. They died. I got it too low, too quick for them. Sorry if the connection's bad. But as I said, let's see here. Oh, you guys can't see outside, but it's snowing. So this is the other one. This just has this one intrepid guppy soul and a... Where is the other guy? But yeah, so this is the new Aquascape. I'll be discussing how it was planted and everything. We got a nearite snail in here too. But yeah, so that's the new Aquascape. Deep substrate. There's some little tricks heading up my sleeves. It has the, thank you, it'll grow in, but right now some of these plants will melt. They will have to because they were immersed, and so I know they're going to do that. But we got hydrocotyle planted in there. We got pink flamingo here. The problem is going to be making sure that cyanobacteria and stuff doesn't grow in here with such a deep substrate. That is going to be a problem. And I think I saw some earlier already, and it's only a few weeks old. But I'll keep an eye out for it. It was forming on some of these leaves, so yeah. In any case, let's plug in the right light, bright light, gremlins. So then this is a 20 long. Got a random another baby of the blue eye lemon plecos. This is the only long fin blue eye lemon that survived when I crossed the albino blue eye with the lemon short fin. And then we got a bunch of really high-end cherry shrimp in here. Really nice ones. This tank is overgrowing with moss. I'll need to trim that. There's wood all throughout back there. So that's where the shrimp are reproducing. We've got Somfong rasboras in here. Somfongzi rasboras. There's the male with the gold and copper look to him. And then the female, where is she? I don't know. And then we've got my ruby tetras. My erythromicrons in here, more ruby tetras, and then we've got some Pseudomagil luminatus, a few oddball Medacas that I've raised in here that are the pearl scale stark whites. And then we've got the lizard catfish, which, check this out, they know what color they are completely. They're aware of that. And they hang out only on this plant that is their color, which I think is just so cool. So this plant just looks really beautiful right now. And it's kind of getting crazy. It's thinking about maybe putting up a flower, but the light with its blinking, here's the old light still going off. And then also we have a baby Peckletia Emperor or Sultanite pleco. And then all of the 5 species of gobies. So this tank's getting crowded, but it keeps running a 0 nitrate load. And it's not super deep substrate, but this one has very, very deep, or very, very dense, I should say, and very thin sand cap on it over ADA Amazonia. All right, Stephen, take care. Removing a tumor from an Oscar. You keep doing the good work. Appreciate it. I love these gobies too, guys. Yeah, and then also my little Red Riding Hood shrimp. Whenever they throw a really Riley shrimp, like these ones, I put them down here. There's also some Malua shrimp in here, but I love the red whiptail lizard cats. Those are from Aquatic Arts also, as are all the gobies. There is a Palauan riffle goby right there on that rock. Focus. And then these are from Redfish Bluefish. Jason, he's got his own channel, but he's also got a store, redfishbluefish.shop. He's not shipping right now. Then we've got a cobalt goby here, and a neon blue, and a neon yellow goby. Females mostly out right now. The males kind of hide, and then they fight. This Palauan riffle goby has a diamond pattern, but the neon yellow is very similar looking, only bright, bright yellow on the crest. So we've got a Nubius in there. I've got Coriambosa Gold in there too, Hygrophila. And then we've got Potamogeton Gayi, all low-tech. Actually, everything in this room is low-tech other than this tank. And it's only 2 weeks old, so go figure, you know. I've had this tank for 2.5 years, 3 years, and it still goes at that rate. This tank, I don't know how carpeting is going to go with such a deep substrate. We'll see. I'm trying to go along with some of the Fatherfish Wallstad combo thoughts and ideas of the anoxic filtration. That stuff takes a long time, and I've hidden a BSB basket essentially. So there's iron and sulfur impregnated in the substrate deep down in this, back in here. All the way in here, as well as a tube. So there's a plenum in there. I have Yivo. I have a regulator that I use. I can get a link to it and post it in the comments afterwards. And I've used this regulator on all my tanks since I found it. It's only $54, and I've used it, and it's never failed me. I've bought $250 ones, and they've failed me, so I don't know what to say on that. Lights, I have a 3-episode series called Let There Be Light that's pretty long, where I go into lights in depth by brand. I have so many brands that I've tried over the years. But bottom line, just wait until you can afford it. If you're going to do CO2, you need at least a Fluval 3.0. They're $160. If you're not willing to spend that, you're probably not willing to get into CO2. But Twin Star is another great light. The Twin Stars I really like. You can't really change much on them, but they're just a nice, even light that just does what it does. But I don't like night crews much. I do have a couple. That's a night crew under there. And then this one is an Aqua Sky, I think. This one's an Aqua Sky that's going nuts. It's Aqueon Aqua Sky, not the Fluval Aqua Sky. But there is a Fluval Aqua Sky that's better than that one. But yeah, so that's going on. But I would recommend getting, if you really have a budget for lights, don't go to the fish world. Go to my video of Let There Be Light. It may be linked in this video even, actually. But go find the video where I talk about Let There Be Light, and there is a link to shop lights, 2 for $25.99. They're floodlights from Home Depot or any of those kind of places, Lowe's, Maynard's, whatever you have near you, and that'll set you up. That'll set you straight. In here, lots of Malawa shrimp. I'm trying not to get glare. Tons of Malawa shrimp and lots of. But yeah, just get 2 of those shop lights. They're Cree LEDs is the brand that Fluval uses, the diodes. And same with if you can get a Twin Star or, a Kessel, a lot of them use the same diodes. So get a 30 or a 50 or 60 or whatever. 30's fine though. I found that 30 watt is good up to about 75 gallon depth. Out to about 2 feet, it works fine. But you'll need one every foot or so. And the spread gets bigger, but once it goes down past 2 feet, it gets dimmer. But you can grow high light plants if you get a 6,500 or so Kelvin light bulb floodlight LED, and they're like $12.50 each. You can buy them in a 2-pack for $25. But for like a 20 long, I'd get one here, mount them up under there, or put a glass lid on and just stick it right on the lid. And that's what I did for my 40 bow front, and that grew anything I wanted it to, light-wise. However, you can't control it to flower or do other things like that, so there's a downside to it in that way. And there's no timer or anything. You gotta add a timer. There's no playing with the settings. You could do a dimmer switch or something, I suppose. But in here, here we have some of the endlers. I'm working on a new cross. Brenda, thank you so much for joining us. You have a great night. Working on a new cross. We've also got the Kohaku, the true albino pooping. These are platies. And everybody's like, those are swordtails. No, they're platies. So they're platies. There's the male. There's the female. They haven't had babies yet. I don't know if they can have babies. I hope they can. I hope they're not some platy molly or platy something mix. In here, we've got a bumblebee goby that's under 1 million shrimp. Hopefully, he'll swim out from under there. We also have a female banshee. There's a sad story if you guys have been following my Episto banshee saga, in that I gave my... Chris, thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. 1999 super chat. Thank you so much, man. Wow. Really, seriously, thank you. Here's my next sob story as we go into it. I did just get these guys. I love them. They're really pretty. But yeah, one banshee, as Demands just noted, passed away, died. The other one has been really shy ever since, hiding somewhere back behind the filter. But they were getting along pretty well. They were chasing each other playfully. But I had 2 females, according to everyone online, according to y'all. And all of a sudden, someone online was like, hey, I've got 2 males, and I need a female. So I gave him one of my females, and he gave me one of his males. Unfortunately, as soon as he left and I had drip acclimated the male, all of a sudden, I literally poured it out into the tank, and it was dead. I checked the TDS of the cup that it came in a margarine jar type thing, and it was really high. It was 400 and some, which means that there was something in it, because he said he keeps his around 100. And our tap water comes out at 20 to 30 TDS. And so, yes, there is cardboard under this tank. There's cardboard and a piece of velour blanket on a wire rack, and it's been here for 2.5+ years. This is a tank that needs help. The nitrates are low, but I've overfed it because of all the baby endlers, and all of a sudden there's no substrate. all of a sudden the snails in this algae have exploded because the fish won't swim into the algae nest. The snail babies are fine at doing that. So this tank has been overfed. It's blown up with snails in the last 2 weeks. So I've done these big old water changes, and the fish are fine, but there's just too many snails. And snails carry all sorts of nasty junk in them as far as parasites go when you get way too many snails. So I just don't like snails. I've gotten Vibrio from snails before, so I don't like having that many snails. Unless I'm trying to breed snails, like in this tank where I've got my albino ram's horns. Oh, and by the way, these are the blue ram's horns, as they're called. They're blue and gray, kind of. I don't know. They're not really blue. That's just what they call the line. And then over here, we've got a bunch of little plecos of the lemon plecos that are young. We've got some Habrosus corydoras growing out. And then we've got some algae-eating shrimp. Chris, thank you so much. You take care. And then we also have we have a new hatch of some of the little Red Riding Hoods, some Neorites, a giant Marimo moss ball that's always full of planaria, which is what the catfish like to eat, which the little plecos will eat that. I just feed the shrimp and baby plecos the same thing. Now, I don't know why, but one of these shrimp has necrosis. See that? That white cloudiness? It's muscle necrosis. It's not a healthy shrimp. It's ate something that's bad, and it may eat something else. It may have eaten something else off of another one that had it a while back. And I feel like there's always one. I always find one with the stupid muscle necrosis. But the water conditions are like flawless for this thing. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. And then we've got all these little baby Rillies and Red Riding Hoods. The Red Riding Hoods don't do super well as far as being a solid line. They're just not consistent. They're not consistent at all. More baby Habrosus, more baby plecos, blue eye lemons. Oh, we have some snails that shouldn't be in here. We have one. And then this one's probably not pink enough for me, so I'll probably get rid of that. So I do all this culling stuff, but yeah, you can see all the little baby shrimp that are in here. And then you kind of pull back and you're like, well, there's not that much going on in there. And up here, I guess the Malaysian trumpet snails are okay, but all the snails are eating fry food that I put on the ceiling, so to speak. You can see down here, usually where all the snails should be, those are just shells of snails. They're all up here because I used, what do you call it? This stuff. Fry food by Aquarium Co-op. Where, I don't know where it went. Oh, here. Because this is what I like to feed my baby endlers and my shrimp and my, just any baby. I like feeding them this. Plus, these guys down in here, they actually really like it too. The Gobys, they seem to like it. And any little gudgeons seem to like it. I thought these Gobys needed biofilm, like they would only live off biofilm, but they have proven me wrong. They will eat Fluval bug bites, cichlid format, and they'll also eat whatever is in this, which I think is mostly like ground up salmon and shrimp. Down here, let's move this stinky bucket of water. Down here, you guys know the trick, don't you? Do you know the trick? You guys know the trick. So down here is my oldest colony of shrimp and my oldest tank. These are my blue dreams from Lucas Brett's. This one needs to shed badly. See, she's got eggs and her color is going out bad. She needs to shed. See how the other ones are doing okay. They're okay. Their color looks pretty good. There's another pregnant female. Another pregnant female? Yeah. And another pregnant female. So this tank is 6 5 or 6 years old. This is the first one, before even the 20. But I'll show you how I get my panda loaches to come out. It's not heated right now, but I have it just in case. Hey Mary, hey Apocalypse Andy. So just in case, I don't even have to feed these guys. But see all the gross planaria? Ew, what a gross tank. You're a crappy fish keeper, Alex. So sometimes I can't even stomach looking at all the planaria. So what I'll do is I'll spray after, obviously I fed the shrimp, so that's why they're hanging out down there about 2 hours ago. But what I'll do is I'll go like this, suck up the adult planaria, and before I can even finish that, they will come in here like velociraptors, and ugh, I hate all these planaria, but they love it. Let's see if we can get more of them in here. All right, come on, guys. Kick up the jams, little buddies. All right. Gross, right, guys? Gross. You can't have a tank like that. Your fish will die. But yeah, I like the turkey baster of cleaning up planaria. Put a little food pellet in there, and boom, they'll all come to it. So now you can see all the little critters. If we had a magnifying or a microscope, they'd be going bananas. But this mulm here, it's full of life for those little guys. So that's what they're doing. In normal tanks, like at the pet store, you'll see that they just hang out on the glass all day. That's such low nutrients compared to eating baby planaria all day. So these are panda loaches. All of them are panda loaches. There's a bunch in here. Seems like they might be hanging on near the heater. I'll have to check the temperature. The heater's not usually on in here, but they don't like to go below 72 or 70. Like, that's about where they like to be. Also, they don't eat shrimp at all. So even the tiniest baby shrimp can survive with them, which is handy. It's nice. But the planaria in this tank, they don't eat enough of the planaria to my satisfaction sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, want to nuke all the planaria. But at the same time, I mean, they seem so happy on their rock eating all the baby planaria in the water. So these are panda loaches. Pandagaras are the bigger ones. They're more like rainbow color. They used to be called rainbow garas, actually. Look at all those stupid planaria. But yeah, that's a trick. If you don't want planaria, just take some food, like some shrimp pellets or something, and leave it out, and then get a turkey baster, and then spray them a few times, kick it all up, and that will allow you to then just toss it away. Over here, this is one of my QT tanks, so to speak, but it's just a bunch of stray guppies in the meantime that I don't want genetically, and some white cloud minnows and some danios and stuff. Some shrimp are in there too. Put some shrimp in every tank. Shrimp is like salt. Like, you just gotta put it in every tank. It's a rule. Oh, there we got some activity. Apparently the Sultan pleco doesn't want to come out at all, so touche, Sultan pleco, touche. And then over here, the light's gonna turn blue and then it'll come back, but we've got in here, this is a filterless tank, or has been. Turned the filter on for a while, but I'm gonna let it just trickle out again, like Lucas has always done. Look at all these shrimp in here. These are Malawa shrimp, and then they are Caridina, Parperipedente, also known as the gold nebulas. If you were wondering about my tannins, apple cider, but that's a bottle of tannin extract. That is boiled leaves, well, not boiled, but blanched leaves. Vinegar, eel, blanched leaves. And, yeah, so that's how I keep that little 2.5 gallon tank how I season the water. Regina, welcome. And then also we've got the little double lyre tail Endler and his ma'am in here. Hopefully they will be okay. And then we've got the gold ring Danios and a couple Kythit Danios and a couple other Danios in here too. Zebra Danios. See, it does this blinky thing that I hate. It's on demo mode. So this is one light that needs help. That's another. That one is another. So I put this one up for tonight, but yeah. But yeah, I do have one every stream. Here's my Pandagara. So I don't know what he's doing. That's kind of a weird spot for him to be in, actually. Hold on. Let's poke him. What do you do when you think a fish might be stressed? Poke him. Actually, I don't know. He doesn't look super happy. I don't know. I'll keep an eye on him. I wonder if it's because the filtration's slowed again. He was fine for 9 months without a filter. Look at the lightning. Ooh, it's scary. And then we got some mystery snails in here, the burgundy ones. I got let's poke it with a stick. Yeah, I've already tried that, Roman. I thought they were new, that they did need new power supplies, but that didn't do it. So then the other thing in here that I'm not seeing, which is making me frustrated because I have to check whether there's a little bit of light, is the there are Apistos in here. Here's the female. The male is an Apisto opal umbrella Apisto borelli. I just took a picture of him last night though, so he's in there somewhere. Yeah, they probably do have epilepsy. Seriously, that's probably why that other fish is so pissed off. But yeah, so that's the deal with that. I think once the ammonia goes away, the plan is to put the Apistos over here. Yeah, I do have tanks where I make sure they don't hybridize the Malua and the Gold Nebula. They don't seem to hybridize anyways, so yeah. It's LED. Yeah, I thought the power supply was the problem also. I've swapped out power supplies a bunch of times and found power supplies that work from brand new stuff, including a light that I just ordered. And see, this one just did it too. But yeah, that light's toast. I don't even know why it's plugged in, honestly. Honestly, it doesn't need to be plugged in. But it keeps going for a while after it's been unplugged. I know that's just a power supply, but yeah, so that light's toast, and I switched it out with this one, which was also blinking, but that one was blinking slow and then got super fast. Switched the power supply, and then this happened. How do you know this? How do you know shrimp species will hybridize? They don't. I mean, you don't always know, but some do, some don't, and I've just been keeping these ones for years, and I know that the gold nebulas keep their white and gold speckles, and they won't cross. I mean, I've kept them in the way I guess I know is I've kept them in so many little bowls like this over the years together, and watched what a male and a female alone will do versus just a bunch of one and one or two of the others, and you just don't see the traits cross at all. And I've bred the Malawas out several times. There's a video if you go look back. I have a purple, a red, and a blue Malawa strain that I've worked on. How can you replicate an old trickle filter with a new one? That's hard. I mean, I fill them up full of filter floss and batting, and then I let algae and mulm and everything clog it up. I think having two of these totally clogged and some of it's coming back in, not even filtering, it's just causing aeration, and some of it is going through the filtration. That works better than two completely fresh open ones for me, for in my experience. Don't know why, but yeah. I wouldn't put any shrimp with rainbow fish if they're big. If they're pseudomagills or if they're dwarf rainbow fish, then have at. But if they're not, then I wouldn't. Rainbow fish, even a bamboo shrimp or a vampire shrimp, would probably um, bite. Probably bite it at least. Try to figure out what's going on. Yeah, Tom Patterson on the racks. I've put cutting boards below some, like the thin plastic. I can't remember what it's called. Uh, it flexes, but it doesn't like roll up. Cutting boards, but then I've also used. You can get them at this store called Daiso. It's Japanese imports. But then the other thing that I've done is I put cardboard and then a velour or vellum or something blanket under that. And then the cardboard, a cutting board, and the blanket. Some combo of those things. Under here, we've got cardboard and then cutting board because it's all glass. But the ones with that strobe light and power strip, see, drives me nuts. There's the power strip. And I know there's a bunch of junk on the bed right now having to do with me setting up these tanks last week. But in any case, so those are the tanks. Those are the tanks. That's all of them. Now get out. No. Let's see here. I guess I didn't feed any worms, but because everybody looks full and the tanks I was going to put it in don't need any more ammonia, and I need to get rid of some snails, I think we'll be forgetting that. So I'm going to just put that back in the fridge. But it's 20. It's 20 HC. But nothing like Lucas, right? Lucas. He's always cooler than me, and he always will be. You know, honestly, he offered to sell his house to my wife and I, fish tanks included, a year and a half ago. Why didn't we buy Lucas's house?
I don't know.
It's in Indiana.
In Indiana, and I'm from Ohio. I can't.
She doesn't like Lincoln's log cabin state.
No Hoosiers.
No damn Hoosiers. All right, guys. So, I hope you guys had a wonderful night. Those are the critters. Those racks will hold up to 30 gallons with water. They're the Amazon extra strength wire racks. Now, that 17-gallon rimless with something sturdy underneath, it'll hold. And I've done it many times. Now, if you're in an earthquake area, you might want to do something a little different. I don't know. I'd love to put another tank right there. Sergio's out for his photo op. Hi, Sergio. So the next thing I would love, we're supposed to move and get an actual house, and then I could have a proper fish room in one spot, and I could get some nice 40 breeders, and then I can breed out Sergio like my dream is. They keep having babies. They'll get them to wrigglers, and then they'll eat them. They'll get stressed, and they'll have wrigglers. So I don't know. I'm looking for someone who wants to raise the mom of the blue and then of Sergio next time they spawn, who's in my area, who's got room for it. Yeah, HC, that was when Lucas wanted to move to the Virgin Islands. He was like, at first he started, I think, at like 500K. He's like, 500K, you can have the house and all the tanks and fish. And you can just take it over for your channel and I'll start fresh. And I don't know, it was maybe a year and a half ago. And then it turned into 4,000 or 450,000. You can have all of them. And I was like, how are you yeah, I can pick at Aquatic Arts. Yeah, they're Hoosiers too. Hoosiers. Hosers. They're hosers, as the British say. But no, Lucas was like, okay, 450. Well, no, it's for all the fish too. He has 300 fish tanks and all their stuff, the lights, everything. I mean, a few RO systems and yeah. So, in any case, that wasn't going to happen. Around here, you can't even get a house for 5 pretty much. I mean, we've been looking for a year and we can't get it. Partially Jesse, but partially not. The whole illness thing is really what tipped him over the edge not to go. But yeah, Laura, Carolyn says, I'm from Steubenville, Ohio. Pretty depressed around here area. She says she knows that area. My wife is from Dublin, Columbus, Hilliard, I don't know, whatever you want to call that area, that suburbs of Columbus. The north end of Columbus, the fancy end of town, as I like to call it when we go there. But when we can travel again, you know, I've got lupus with the immune system issues, so I can't be willy-nilly with this thing like some people, some young kids are these days. But we're definitely gonna go to Pinellas County, Indian Rocks Beach, Florida, Clearwater, Spring Hill, and we'll probably be back in Columbus sooner than later too. We were there a year ago. A year ago to the day in October, right? September. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to let you go. Thanks for checking in. Not Nola Jane, hello and goodbye. You say hello, I'll say goodbye. Thank you so much, Super Chatters. I appreciate it. We're finally going to fix that damn flashing light piece of... So, that'll happen.
Is Santa bringing you a light?
Is Santa bringing me a light?
I don't know. I'll have to wait and see. I sent him a special message.
I have 2 lights going out, so now I can buy the other light with a super chat. So probably another show or 2, and we'll get there. Cool, Santa. You're my hero, Santa. All right, guys. So take care of your critters. Take care of each other, your plants. If you have any questions, you can always drop them in the comments. And I'll probably be streaming tomorrow. I was going to do some gift ideas for the worst year in the history of years, 2020. And I also have some new videos out if you aren't caught up on why plants melt. And even though I know why they melt, and I know what you're supposed to do to prevent it, will I do a water change of 80% every 3 days? Probably not, so I will probably have some melted plants. Do as I say, not as I do. All right, guys, have a great night. As I said, take care of... Yes, I do have a very cute Santa, Roman. She is my favorite Santa. See her with her rebel shirt on? She's got a beet or something, and it's power to the beet.
Power to the organic farms.
Power to organic farms is what she says. She sells produce. She slangs produce for a living. I slang fish and plants. All right, guys, take it easy. We will chat later, I'm sure. That was all the tanks that I've got right now. Oh, except for the ones outside. Let's go outside for an hour. No, there's not much outside right now. Some Daniels. All right, guys, take it easy. I'd consider marrying him for his house in the tanks. All right, guys, take it easy. Take care of your plants. Take care of each other. And take care of yourselves, because if you don't do that, you can't do the other things. And we'll talk to you later. Have a good night. What just went out?
Goddamn Christmas lights.
What is wrong with the electricity in this place? And it's snow. Oh, wow. Not just a little snowing. It's like, I thought it was going to be like Seattle snowing. Like, oh, silly snow. But in the last hour, it's actually coming down and starting to stick on roads and cars. All right, so maybe we'll have to deal with some snow. Okay. Well, the weather outside is frightful, and I said I was leaving, so I'm going to do that. How do you like that poem, Jack Freeze?
Happy winter solstice.
Oh, yeah, happy winter solstice, everyone. Get naked, dance around a pole, love one another. Dance around a pole, I just realized.